Hey, welcome back to Day Trade Indy. Kyle, how you doing today? You came into the studio a little fired up. What the heck is going on?
Well, I like it better when the algorithms and all the volume is with, the long side. I don't like it when it's all on the bear side because things aren't working the way they're supposed to be. But
Are you telling me you just got stomped over the last week?
no, man, we're green. Somehow we're green. It's just not as green as it should be. And that's that's going to be the whole point of this conversation is just what mistakes to avoid. Do as I say, not as I do. And just a little bit of insight into just kind of what's happening, why it seems so hard. No, you're not going crazy if you're trading OTCs or small. Basically, if you're trading anything other than blue chips and in the energy sector, you can trade Charles Schwab is up. That's no fun. Here's the thing. Like I said before, everybody could take $1 million and put it in Apple and look at it in 20 years and it'll be up a certain percentage. And you can tell your grandkids you beat the market. That's not what we're trying to do, right? We're trying to crush the market.
And when I looked at the stats for last week, I think double digits for the Dow, almost double digits for S&P, both of them in new highs.
New highs.
NASDAQ, about 8%. So it's a pretty stellar year so far.
Down here, yeah, but it's all, like I said, yeah, Wells Fargo's up, Charles Schwab is up. If you're in oil, it's way up. If you're in back, what do they call them? Get back to work stocks, the economy's reopening.
Yep.
Yeah. Blue chip, large cap, boring ass stocks are all, they're all trending up. But anything under $20 is getting absolutely.
But there's a lot of positive news, and if people are chasing those dollars, that's what's happening. But you just told a story right when you walked in, which I thought was fascinating.
Which one?
About the cancer drugs.
Oh yeah, so BCTX, and we were up last week. Last week it went up. We're even on it. So we were waiting on clinical data to come in over the weekend, and they got incredible clinical data. They alone by themselves they can extend a terminal breast cancer patient's life for from between 6 months up to a year.
That's amazing.
You compare if you add it with other drugs already in the market, it can be up to 2 years. I got dyslexia with tickers, but it's either GSLI or GLSI. Last December 19th, got almost identical news. And our float's lower. BCTX's float's 440,000. GSLI's is 2.5 million. That thing went from $5 to $158 in one trading day.
On the same type of news, the extension.
Same exact news, bigger float.
Camp.
So I just had over the weekend, our portfolio, every single ticker got either what I would consider good news or great news.
Yep.
And I just had this weird feeling it was just a bull trap. I was just I don't know. I've been sending out watch lists and what I'm looking at in the morning on Twitter. And this morning I just don't feel right. I should be really excited. If this was January or December, we would have doubled our portfolio today.
So what the heck's going on? I mean, we got all the money from the STIMI, right? And we've got it out in people's hands.
I am borderline convinced that the Fed or whoever runs the world for real uses the stock market to manage inflation and liquidity. They put way too much money into the population, and they have just siphoned it out with a syringe. That stimulus money is gone.
But how do you figure that? What?
Because more money went into the stock market than ever before.
Right.
And the stocks that they can afford are all under $20, including growth stocks, and they're all down. They're all down and have been sold and are getting murdered. The Dow's at all-time highs on 20% average volume. It doesn't.
Gosh,
I don't understand it. This is where I need you, but it's all time.
We've never seen this before.
We've never seen this before. So if SPY's ripping. No, but nothing's moving. Nothing under $25 is moving, and they're all. You'll have a pop in the morning, and then it just knifes, or everything goes up pre-market, which I try not to trade too much pre-market because, you try to set your levels and your resistance. And then when the bell hits, you kind of plan your day. It goes up and then it just drops like a stone. Like BCTX shouldn't have gone down today. It was down 25%. Now we sold it down 10. We made money on the trade. I bought it last Wednesday, but at some point, like I thought that the news, I know the market's down. I know it's a bear market. I know that, we don't have a ton of liquidity. We don't have a ton of volume. There's just not a lot to make them go up. But with the float as small as, it's like the smallest float I've ever seen. It's like 440,000 or something like that. And it just can't go up. It is the wildest, most frustrating thing ever. So what I've been doing is I have just made a commitment to myself that I'm not going to make a bad situation worse. Because for a while there, last video we did, I was talking about how I found this video on understanding market volume and like price action. I'm more comfortable with price action than I've ever been, ever. But I finally got it through my thick skull that it's not me. I'm fighting an uphill battle. It's not an even playing field. It's just like it wasn't an even playing field all last year when everything was going up.
Right.
Everybody's getting rich and it was just like, this is easy. Well, it's the opposite now. Now you have to pick your spots. You have to you have to know what you hold more than you ever have. You have to have more in cash than you ever have. You have to cut if you're going to day trade. You can't day trade if you're trading on a 1 minute or a 3 minute or a 5 minute. Like 1 5-minute candle up is pretty good. And then it will just get absolutely destroyed. Catalysts are like Twitter's so upset. I love Twitter.
What's going on with Twitter?
Twitter is just welcome to 2021 where where bad news makes a stock go down and good news makes it go down even further. And people are just like, what is happening? Like, how is it? Again, no one's asking for 1,000% runners. And I didn't think that BCTX was going to go from $5 to $200. That's not what I thought.
Do you think it's
I thought it would go to like 6?
GameStop effect or some kind of
I don't
weird?
know. I don't know if they're just punishing us for even making that happen. I don't know if there's stuff going on behind the scenes. Like since our little hiatus here for Easter, and we just had scheduling issues, but I sent you that. Remember the Arcabos, whatever, that hedge fund that tanked Viacom?
Yeah.
He had $20 billion in
losses.
Undocumented. Well, they were undocumented. They were off exchange. They were just handshakes. He never invested $1 million. He never invested $1. They were just they were basically just contracts to be executed at a later date that technically gave him the shares, but he didn't have to invest any money. So when the margin call came, it was like, hey, you got that 20 bill? They take Viacom. Viacom's like in our IRAs and portfolios and mutual funds of Viacom.
And we shouldn't be laughing.
No, it went from $110 to like $34 and 2 candles. Because some guy that nobody's ever heard of had a margin call called in that nobody knew about, that doesn't have to be on the books or anything. Who knows what else is going on? How much dark money's in Tesla? I don't know, man. It's just like, you just gotta.
So right now, though, we're talking about psychology because messed up. And
my manic mood right now is part of it. It is hard.
I think 3 out of 4 texts I get from you is
it's just what the
stocks are hard.
This trading shit is hard, man. Like I want penny stock bonanza back. Like I want to just put in $1, win a car. Put in $1, win a car. Put in $1, win a car. Like that's all I want. I'll be Nick Papagiorgio again. I was Warren Buffett for like a year. Again, you said, Dow's at all-time high. Screw the Dow. I don't understand that at all. NASDAQ's what I compare it to. That's up 8%. We're neck and neck. But today, I went to bed last night and told my wife, I'm like, tomorrow literally should double our account. Like this weekend was too good to be true. She's like, that's awesome. She's like, why aren't you excited? And I go, I just have this weird feeling.
And you got double digits right before the bell.
It just doesn't matter. At the bell, at 9:05, we were, yeah, Yeah, we were up like 25% at 9:05, and at 9:10 we were like even. I'm like, how do you pull the rug that fast? Like they're like the short sellers. Everyone, Twitter always says, "Oh, it's the market makers and it's the manipulators." They do some weird stuff. It's big money, and short sellers. They just have all the confidence in the world, so they are going to hammer you because they know people are they're scalping now. There's no swing trade. You're not buying Monday and selling it next Monday. You'll get killed.
Right.
So all of that all that downside pressure, you can't beat yourself up.
And what was that video? We talked a lot about it offline where you were just sitting there going, hey, man, they just hammer until they get it to the price where they really want it. Then they pick it up and they just ride it all the way up.
Bid stacking, and there's all this weird, OTCs, especially if they have a stop sign. There are really no rules. It's the wild, wild west. Market makers can, if you look at it, supposedly you can't trade OTCs after hours, but the second the bell closes, you'll see your stock drop 80%, and then magically at the bell, it's back up. So somebody has the ability to buy them and manipulate it and get rich. Like, I don't know how it happens. I don't know who those people are, but it definitely happens. Now, I'm not going to sit here and be just the complete conspiracy theorist that just says it's all market makers and it's all whatever. But right now, the short sellers have all the confidence in the world. It's just the inverse of where we were literally 60 days ago, where you couldn't miss. And right now, they're not waiting for it to run up before they take it back down. They're just hammering you like
over and over and over.
Two candles, two 1-minute candles up at the bell, and you're dead because they know there's no confidence in the market. Longs are nervous as hell, so they're taking their profits right away. So there's nothing to prop it back up, and then they just take it all the way back down. Now, here's the thing. Once it gets beat down to a point where the institutions feel like there's no more blood to squeeze out of us,
right,
then the juice is going to come back to the north side, and we'll bankrupt the bank. There will be a day. I don't know if it'll be tomorrow. I don't know if it'll be next week. I don't know if it'll be May 1st. I don't know when it'll be. But there will be a day where the people in power with all the money that make this thing really work. Like, I still can't believe I was so stupid that I thought the stock market was just like, well, if 101 people want to buy it and 99 people want to sell it, it goes up a little bit. Like, that's just such no, it's not. No, it's not. Oh, Citadel decided they want to throw $10 billion at it long. And it went up. Okay, cool. And I just happened to be there. And then now they got $10 billion, they want to go down. So, and I'm in the way, so I get bulldozed.
And this is absolutely fantastic for me because I get to hear all the stories and sit on the sideline and go, Kyle, go.
Insanity.
Because the day-to-day moves are insane.
And we're in very volatile things. And when your stock is 5 cents and it goes down a penny, well, that's 20%. Like, it's not a huge move, but percentage-wise, it's a big move. So what I was doing, and this is back to the psychology aspect, I'm so competitive that I was trying to day trade and offset any gains or losses, right? So right. if I'm trying to manage the portfolio, and I'm trying not to just panic sell, and I'm trying not to just add every dip because sometimes the dips don't stop dipping. Right. I don't want to do what we did in February. That was no fun. But then it took me a minute to realize, I wasn't chasing bad stocks. I wasn't chasing runners. I wasn't breaking any of our rules. But what I was doing is I was compounding the problem because it took me 3 days, but I realized that I was just in a lose-lose battle, and I was negative progressing. So if I had 500 shares and it went down a little bit, then I would just buy 1,000 shares.
And then it go down a little bit
more.
And it would
go and they're just dude, these are, if you're messing with low float, I know we did a whole thing on float. I hope I didn't destroy bank accounts, but the smaller the float, the faster it moves.
Absolutely.
So it's, if you're not confident or you don't have the account, if you're not playing within your account size to make it not hurt, then you will panic sell on that first candle that goes down $1 because it's going to happen. They're going to knife you for $1 in 1 second, and your heart's going to beat out of your chest, and you'll be like, oh my God, what just happened? It's never going to come back up. But here's the thing. It does come back up. Or if you scale into it, if you buy a quarter size until you have a full position, and then you allow yourself to go back up, that's one thing you can do. But if you negative progress and you're...
It's scary.
If all of your other stocks are red, you're going to be more nervous than you would have been otherwise.
And it's scary.
So I was just sitting there adding insult to injury, and I'm like, yeah, I'm just going to go play. Like, moral of the story, since we started this, just play golf. If I have an amazing setup, I assume the worst now. And if a stock that I'm watching tanks at open, I assume the first bounce is a fake out, let it go to the second flush out, and then try to scalp it for like 30 cents.
And what are you seeing? But what are you seeing with some of the other day traders that are out there?
Complaining, whining, getting destroyed.
Really?
They're getting destroyed.
Even our buddy, I see him on here, the redheaded dude.
Who's that?
Ross. What's his name?
I haven't been tracking Warrior Trader recently.
I was just kind of curious.
He's really he's.
I mean, he's got a lot of practice, right?
Yeah,
but that's what happens.
There's like 3 people that can do it exactly the way he does it, and he's got millions of dollars, and that's a whole other thing.
Right.
But
I didn't know
swing traders,
the
biggest Twitter accounts out there that are in FinTwit are getting destroyed. Like,
really?
You just follow them all. There's like, this is miserable. Like, nothing goes up. Nothing goes up. Just like nothing went down before, now nothing goes up. And it's just a balancing act, and you have to survive it. And don't chase dollar amounts. Obviously, one of the rules is you don't chase runners, right? Like if it's already up, it's like 5 candles up. You can't buy that. Like it's coming back down. Buy the dip, right?
Mm-hmm.
But you can't chase losses with position sizes that are more than you're comfortable with, because you will not act in your best interest.
And I think we have to be clear.
In an interest of fear.
Right. We're sitting here talking. It's for entertainment, right?
Yeah.
At the end of the day, this isn't financial advice.
I'm barely good at this.
And
I'm
so,
like, if on a scale of 10, I'm like a 6.
We're just having the conversation, right?
Yeah.
For me, it's an absolutely fascination, because being a fundamental,
it's extremely fascinating
investor, 5% of everything I got, 98% is in that. And I'm watching, and like I told you, I'm getting hammered.
Because they're all growth stocks, and even
I'm not
those
a
are
Dow and S&P, buyer necessarily. I like to pick stocks. I like to buy the ones that are going to be a 10 banger.
Mm-hmm.
And I got hit by 20%. So
yeah, and those are stocks that are supposed to go up. Those are actual real companies. Real companies are going down. Shit companies are going down, and speculative OTCs.
But there are a lot of
down.
big ones. I mean, you got like I said, the Dow and the S&P. I mean, I know there's.
But I would love to see 500. The breakdown, which I don't know how to do. So if anybody watching this knows how to do this, please tell me in the comments.
Which breakdown?
I want to know what stocks that went up to make, because the Dow's just an average.
Right.
There's only so many companies that make up the Dow.
30.
And then SPY is just an even, it is a larger subset. But there were points last year where Tesla and Apple would skyrocket.
Mm-hmm.
The Dow would, SPY and the Dow would finish green, but everybody got murdered. Like, it's not a fair it's not an automatic representation. It's not like the median or the mean. It's not the average.
Right.
If two big boys rip,
it could be value weighted. I forget which one's value weighted. So one of them's based on the actual price of the stock, and the other one's just based on the volume. And geez,
I guess I could go.
I should know this because one of them's value weighted.
I can do it on FinBiz and just search it, but it's like, if it's all-time highs, what's ripping so hard that's offsetting all the losses? Because the watch list and the stocks that I look at are getting destroyed.
Have you looked at them compared to
Palantir? I mean, normal stock. Like,
did Palantir get smoked?
They're all getting smoked. Palantir had a little spike, but it's not running. I mean, it's not recovering like it should. Bitcoin stocks. If you got Mara, Riot, eBang, like, Bitcoin stocks are running pretty well because Bitcoin just broke 61,000.
Oh, did it?
Ethereum just broke 2,100. Like,
you want to tell my Ethereum story?
Oh, it breaks my heart. I don't even want to get you in more trouble. There's
I laugh at it because it's just so crazy. So
we should be partying on your yacht right now.
Yeah, exactly.
But like EV companies, I thought EV companies were going to soar under Biden. They're not doing anything either.
So Palantir's 23 off its high of 35.
That sucks.
Yeah, but I was looking at the NASDAQ, it's almost double from where it bottomed out when COVID hit.
Yeah, maybe. Oh, well, but
I get it.
Everything
but I'm just
trying
trying to put it in perspective a little bit, S&P is up, I don't know, 80 whatever. So is the Dow from the drop.
From the drop.
I know, but it's made all the negative territory back and, so.
But that's my question. In what?
In what?
What the hell are people Are they just betting minis? Are they just betting ES minis? Are they just betting SPY? Are they just taking SPY calls and just?
Oh, they could be, but it's.
But like what? Show me the stock.
There's like 500 stocks in the S&P, and so.
But show me the one that's at all-time highs right now. Show me the one in the S&P that's at all-time highs, that's absolutely ripping faces off, that's making rich, because that's what SPY would indicate. SPY would indicate that we're all rolling in money, and it's just there's no volume, there's no liquidity.
You got a point there.
And we're dying. Well, we're treading water.
Because I was trying to look it up.
But that's the stuff that I don't know. I'm sure somebody somewhere knows. They don't teach that at the school I went to. I know that much.
The year range is 2,700 for S&P all the way up to 4,100.
Yeah. Well, that money should have bled into something. Like there should be somebody doing like the all-time high dance right now. They're laughing at us. And I'm sure they are. I just don't know where they are. I don't know if it's oilers or shippers or I know financial institutions are going up. Boring. If I want to make $3 on 100 shares, like, okay, I don't want that. That's dumb.
No, that's a great question. I have been so busy lately. I haven't been tracking it. Hey, that's.
But I've been trying. Yeah. None of the people that I turn to just to make sure that I'm not crazy. No, and Twitter's a wild. Twitter's insane anyway. But right now, it's just the story of 2021 where bad news makes it go down. Good news makes it go down even more.
I just love it, though, because every once in a while I pull up the stock, my son bought, because I was trying to get them to understand about companies and just say, what kind of companies you like? And goes, Is McDonald's a company? It's like, hey, great question. Yes, they are. They go, let's get a little bit of that. But the one I really want, Dad. Any idea what he asked for?
Apple.
No. He said, look, give me a couple Apple, but the one I really want is Activision Blizzard.
Oh, that was going to be my second guess would be Blizzard.
So that thing's about $96. I can't remember what he bought it at. 30?
Well, that's good.
It was 4 years ago.
Oh, yeah. That makes sense.
But it was just kind of funny, and I had to laugh. But it's all good.
Well, yeah, man.
But it's a different game. I know it's a different game.
It's such a different game. And all you can do is just keep your head in it. The hardest part for me, like blue-collar kid, Midwest, the hardest part for me is understanding that I don't have to actually do anything to make money. Sometimes the best trade is no trade, and that is so counterintuitive to me because you want to, make it happen. Like you want to do well, right? Like you want to find a trade, have it go your way, find a perfect technical setup, get a solid catalyst, and be right. Do a good job. But you can't do a good job when an 800-pound silverback gorilla is sitting on your head. You can't, it's not you right now. Mitigate your losses, manage your account, make sure that you have plenty of money left when it does turn around and turn back into a bull market. Mm-hmm. And we will destroy short sellers' bank accounts because they can lose infinite amounts of money. We can only lose what's in our account.
That's right.
So if you're shorting BCTX when it goes the wrong way, we can light your whole account on fire times 100. Like we don't care. And that'll all be to our benefit. You just have to make sure that you stay in the game long enough so that you can capitalize on that.
Absolutely.
And you can't compound by chasing not bad stocks, but just chasing anything. If you set daily limits for yourself, set win goals and set loss goals. I wasn't setting a loss goal. That was probably my biggest mistake. Now I get like 2 negative trades and I'm done. I'm just done. Just turn on the TV. I'll find something else. I don't play video games anymore. I've been looking for a video game I'm interested in. Like, I'm just sitting there, like, just something to occupy my time and my brain. Because
isn't that an interesting poor boy mentality? Because I had it too, which is you feel like you got to work really hard.
You feel like I got to work. I've worked my ass off my entire life for every dollar I've ever made, and now I can go golfing and look at my phone. It's like, oh, we're up 15%, and I didn't do anything. And you also get this weird second guess thing because the market's not doing what it's supposed to. So it's like, oh man, something else ran more. Should I have been in that? Should I have done this? Should I have done, like you just have to go back to the rules. Don't chase. Know what you hold. Right now, there's absolutely no shame in selling. Twitter. There's another thing about Twitter. This is how you know when if you ever want like an easy indicator of whether or not a Twitter account's being paid to pump or is just like genuine.
Can't wait to hear this.
Well, no matter what happens, it's good. So if your stock tanks 90%, then they're excited for a dip. Like, fuck off.
That's not a dip.
Like, that's not a dip, dummy. Like, that's you getting hosed. Like, what are you talking about? Oh, I'm glad I held. I'm glad I tripled down for my... No, dude, shut up. Like, that's not real. Like, 90% is a lot. Like, what are you talking about? If anything drops and comes back, then it's patience plays and it's diamond hands. And it's like, nobody ever wants to just go... There's like 2 dudes on Twitter that I've found that are actually like, okay, our bad, this sucks. Like, move on. And those are people that I'll at least look at their recommendations and then start doing a little bit of research on and trying to figure out if I want anything to do with it. But 99% of them, there's a stock. Did anybody listen to this? GTLL. God love you. GTLL went from like, I think it's peaked at like 8 cents. It's all the way back. It was like flirting with trips again. Like it was down to like 0.01, like 0.001 something. Every GTLL follower is like, this is the best. Just add more. I'm like, dude, like, here's the thing. Like, if you are a millionaire for it, like, good for you. But stop acting like this doesn't suck. Like, you're giving bad information. Like, that is not, like, stop it.
So how do you keep your head in the game then? Because
working at it and like forcing yourself to do things you're not used to. I'm a complete extrovert. The worst part about trading is I don't have anybody to like bounce ideas off of. Like it's just me, which is the hardest part. If I had like a team around me,
right?
They could tell me to stop. Like, don't click the button. but it's just me sitting there like, that computer calls me like, there might be a runner right now. Maybe there's something we can go find. Maybe we go dig into something. Like, maybe something's going to go. Like, you just can't fall for it. You can't give in. You can't go chasing in a bear market. You just can't. Because what you're going to do is you're going to turn a bad situation into a horrible situation. Your swings or whatever your positions are that you're holding are going to be red. You're going to try to offset that with share size that you're not comfortable with. You're already in a market that's choppy at best and is getting, it's 5 candles up and it gives you that false sense of hope. Like, oh man, I finally found one that's just going to go up. And then it just knifes $2 and wipes you out. And now you went from up 35% to down 25%. You did it in one candle. You panic sell. Now you've lost a couple $1,000s on your own just because you couldn't stop clicking buttons, and all of your portfolio's down. Like, it's just a horrible snowballing effect. Like, and the way that you avoid it is you just don't. Trade with a quarter of your normal size, sell faster than you want to, and set loss limits. I mean, you can set gain limits for yourself too, but set structure for yourself, or you will just find yourself and stick to it. Again, do as I say, not as I do. I don't do this perfectly. It is so hard for me to take a loss. It's like playing golf. Like, if I go shoot like a bad round, like, all I want to do is play golf again. It's like I double bogeyed this. Like, that was a chip shot that I just duffed. Like, I left like 6 strokes out there. I should have shot low 80s. Like,
so do you think
I just want to go play again? So
you think people should take a break then?
I think people need to just be realistic with what's happening, and don't treat it like it's a slot machine. Don't treat it like it's blackjack. Don't treat it like you just went and blew your head off in the casino for $2,000. So now I'm going to go bet $10,000, and then like the dealer runs out 6 cards to 21. Well, you have a 19, and now you're flipping tables. Like, don't do that. Smaller bets, smaller positions. Wait, be even greedier about your entry points. Like 2 months ago, you could chase it halfway up the run and still make plenty of money. If you're 4 cents above support right now, you're probably going to lose.
Right.
4 cents? 4 cents is nothing. Especially after it flushes out. It used to, we used to flush out like the pre-market top gainers with all the volume.
Yep.
They, if they flush out at the bell, usually the people have it back in the back of their mind for mid-afternoon. They come back for it and run it back up at least to VWAP. No, it's like,
I haven't seen that.
No. And if you're not greedy, if you're not setting your limit buys, your bids, don't buy anything on the ask. Don't slap the ask for frickin' anything. You're better off just not getting filled. You're better off not being in the trade than chasing for any way, reason, shape, or form, because it's just not in your favor. You can't wish it to be better. You can't cross your arms and wiggle your nose and make it go up. Like, you can't do that. You have to understand that we are in the inverse of what we were in 2 months ago.
Right.
And everything's going down. So you have to be very, very strategic. Cut your starters and your entry points in thirds, if not quarters. Definitely scale in. That was the one that was the one, like I said, it took me 3 days and I was like, oh, that's a terrible idea. Like, what are you doing? Don't buy 500 shares and then lose, 4 cents. And then buy 1,500 shares. Like, that's dumb. Like, what are you doing? Well, they were all good setups. They all should have gone up. In the past, they all would have gone up. I'm fighting, like I said, I'm fighting an 800-pound silverback. You just have to recognize it. And instead of what I wanted to do, which every fiber in my body wanted me to do, was just sell everything and put it all in one stock and just be like, screw it, because I hate losing. I hate it. I hate losing. People that love winning more than they hate losing must not do it very often. I just assume that if you love, you're just a loser. Like, I don't know. Like, I don't play games to lose. I'm not accustomed to losing. It's a weird feeling to me. I don't like it.
So what are you going to be doing going forward then?
What I have been doing, everything that I just laid out.
Gotcha.
Small position sizes, cut loss. The second I think something's off, I'm just selling.
Cut bait.
I'll just sell it all and just figure it out later. And here's another psychological problem. You're like, well, if I sell everything now and then it goes up 20% tomorrow, then I just shot myself in the foot, right? Well, yeah. Okay, so sell 80% so you don't have that FOMO while it goes back out. But like, what if February happens again? Because I lived through February. I just kept adding the dip. That freaking thing didn't stop dipping.
Yep.
And in 5 business days, we wiped out almost all of our gains. It wasn't like I sat there for 6 weeks and just let it bleed. It was 5 days
And it was
vicious.
Yes.
It was like, what in the hell is going on? So, like, I'd never seen that before. Now, in the back of my mind, I'm constantly looking over my shoulder for that rattlesnake.
Right.
Like, I'm not letting that happen again. INND is going to go to 25 cents. In my opinion, I'm very, very confident that at some point this year, INND will be a 25-cent stock. If it just decides it wants to go from where it is now back to a penny, I'm not holding it all the way back to a penny. I'll just sell and rebuy it.
Where's it at now? I forget.
5 cents.
Gotcha.
For whatever. It's
and it's up pretty good.
Thank God. I mean, it took a while. Oh, that was the only one I couldn't be wrong about. And I texted you the other day. I'm like,
I know.
Oh, thank God I'm not wrong. Oh boy, that was a long road to averaging down.
But it takes a while to put yourself right, man.
And now we've got Catalyst, and they've just announced a real partnership with.
When did they do that?
Last night. Apparently, it's a wholesaler. It's like a Sam's Club of the South. It's called BJ's Wholesale. I was like, what in the world is that? Then I looked them up. They're a $15 billion a year company. They're they're 243 on Fortune list.
You would think once you get into that one, you're going to get into some more.
Well, and all the way through until May 5th, there's just more catalysts, and they have a partnership with a Fortune 25 retailer. Like, that one, rolling. That one I know what I'm holding.
Right.
But here's the thing. If one day it just falls out of the sky, I'm not just going to give away all the gains and just watch it because I'm diamond handling it. Right. Screw that. I'm going to take my money, let it bottom out, buy twice as much when it's at the bottom, and ride it back up. That's what I did with LTNC. I mean, it's just unbelievable. Small NASDAQs will not move. There are about 5 OTCs right now. Every day an OTC runs. It's like winning the lottery. You just got to figure out which one. But there's about 5 OTCs right now that I fully expect to go up, that we either bought at the bottom or averaged down to the bottom. That's the only reason we have any money. If I'd have put all the money in Tesla, we'd be down.
Yeah.
That's freaking Tesla. NIO, all these EV stocks. Blink, all bottoming out. Now you get a pop, but if you do what I'm used to doing, which is once you find the bottom, then they get a rally for 10 minutes. I'm not saying they go straight up for 10 minutes, but 3 candles up, 1 candle consolidation, 3 candles up, 4 candles back, then everybody consolidate, and then it rips, right? Like, that's kind of what I'm used to. All at support, all at trend lines, all at normal, reasonable stocks acting in some sort of a logical manner. This thing is like 1 candle up, 2 candles up, 5 candles down. And the first candle down might be bigger than the 2 that went up.
Right.
So you have to cut. You have to take your profits. You just have to. So when in doubt, no trade's probably your best trade.
It's all about reducing risk.
Don't trade. Don't chase loss. Don't chase anything. If your first 2 trades go red, just manage your portfolio. Trade around the core. Like, find something to focus on that isn't you constantly trying to beat yourself up to try to get that money back, because it does hurt. You're like, I was so frustrated because I'm like, I just added to the problem, and you want to go back and get it. You want to stop that again. You don't. The last thing I want is to be the reason our account goes down, right? Like, right. I don't want to be the cause of the pain. So whenever I am, all I want to do is get it back. But you can't. You just got to go find something to do. You got to find a hobby, call a friend, read a book, watch some YouTube videos, sharpen the knife, learn something, try to add a skill set that you didn't have yesterday. Watch that volume price video over and over and over again, so that you kind of can be ready when the whole goal right now is to have as much money as possible when the algos come back. When it comes time to kill all the bears and the bulls are running wild again, you want to have as much money as you possibly can. Because I thought what we did in January was good. It was terrible. We ran it up 100% in like 15 days. It was terrible. Give me January again, we 5x our account.
Right.
I just didn't know what I didn't know. But I'll be ready next time.
Mm-hmm.
So if all you have to do is sit on your hands, take a nap, sleep in. Liquidate your portfolio. Like, sell everything off and sleep in tomorrow is better than trying to chase in a losing scenario. Unless you're just one of the anomalies out there, and there are a few that can just do it every day. But I promise you, they have their full account or a portion of their account in a manageable size at support, and they are selling very, very fast.
Right.
Because they're no dummies. So I know everybody only posts winners and Lambos and $10 million a day on Twitter. They're lying to you.
Right.
Sit on your hands, take a deep breath, and don't be the reason. Don't throw good money after bad is basically the point. And you'll be a lot happier. I can only imagine how many people are frustrated out there right now, because a lot of us came into the market when it was just ripping.
And it seemed like you could just print money.
And I knew that wasn't real.
But you just didn't know it would be like this.
But yeah, I didn't. Yeah. I knew you wouldn't just get 100% runners every day. Like, that's just dumb. But yeah, I'd never seen it where it's just like catalysts don't matter, volume doesn't matter, social sentiment doesn't matter. Like, they just aren't gonna. It's just not. It'll go up for 2 candles, and then you're dead.
So you want to end it here?
Yeah, this is a good spot.
What's your parting wisdom?
I don't have any parting wisdom today. Things are going to get better, though. They can only squeeze so much blood out of a turnip.
Right.
So just be ready. Don't cost yourself thousands of dollars now, because that's thousands of dollars that you can't 5x when the time happens. And you'll know, right? Like, you'll start seeing runners again. It'll be like, oh boy, now we're ready. So
there you go.
Sit on your hands.
Don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe.
Like, comment, subscribe. Follow us on Twitter. I've been tweeting a lot. I'm bored. Twitter's been saving me.
Good to know.
Market's no good. All right, guys.
I'll see you next time.
Yeah. Later. Thanks.
Bye.